Welcome to Hard Knock Hawks, everybody. I'm Anthony, along with Chris, Leon, and Marco. This is the part where we like to talk about the in and outs of our favorite basketball team, the Atlanta Hawks. Today, we're going to be recapping a successful week where the Hawks have 3 wins, one of them being the largest upset in the entire league so far against the Boston Celtics in their first NBA Cup game, and 2 of the best defensive games of the season against the Washington Wizards and the Sacramento Kings. However, they did suffer a pretty brutal loss where the Hawks blew a double-digit lead against the Portland Trailblazers due to the 27 turnovers the Hawks committed. The Hawks currently have the 14th ranked offense and the 22nd ranked defense with a negative 2.1 net rating. That's not great, but despite all of this, the Hawks, as of this recording, are the 5th seed with a 7-8 record and could potentially take hold of the top 6 spot in the East within the next few games. So, starting again with you, Marco, how do you think the Hawks managed to survive despite all the recent injuries that they have had?
So sick of you. But
I did.
hey man, the Hawks fought. They fought hard. That's all we asked them to do. I'm shortening up my answer now. I'm not saying all that over again. The Hawks fought hard. They took the team serious that we needed. Beating the Celtics without Trey is always a plus because we despise the Celtics. So doing that without your best player will always hit right in my soul. Um, they took every team serious they played. All we asked for, given the injuries that you had, next man up mentality. Everybody stepped up. Um, like I said last episode with the injuries, you had guys who's actually stepped up, like Keaton. Keaton's gonna take a step back, but you had guys like Keaton step up, man, fulfill some backup minutes that we really much needed. Reese's play has grown more, despite the three being iffy. His play has still gotten better and helped a lot. Jalen's also getting more comfortable as we go through the season as a real second option. So the guys responded how I needed them to respond. We won. We fought hard, and yeah, that's all I asked them to do. On to you, Chris.
Yeah, it's been good to see the guys compete, right? When you lose as many players that have lost from their top 6 guys, it's easy to fold, but they've been competing in all these games, in them to the third quarter or through the third quarter. You get to the fourth, and legs haven't been there a lot. I think the Hawks had the worst rest of any team, I think, in the first like 10 or so games, 10, 12 games. Uh, more back to backs than anyone to my knowledge. And when you combine that with losing 3 of your wings, most of your guard rotation, half of it at least, you were really at a disadvantage. And the guys competed, right? They played really hard. They won some games. I don't know that anyone expected them to beat Boston Celtics. I think that was like one of the fourth biggest upset maybe in like history. In terms of betting, it was like 16-point underdogs, just
Yeah,
crazy.
60 and a half.
Uh, yeah, you had Dyson Daniels go off for 28 points in 41 minutes. Like Dyson's been just an absolute just workhorse for this team. He played another 39 minutes, I think, against the Kings. When other people are getting rest, Dyson is out there really just giving his all for this team defensively. And I think the everyone's been feeding off of that. And while the record hasn't really shown it, I think they have played pretty well so far. And now that they're getting healthy, hopefully they can string together some wins, and the record will reflect the level of play. This team has really, really gutted it out. So it's been good to see. You feel bad for them, like with how many injuries they've had, the way they've been playing, and yeah, hopefully they're rewarded for it soon.
To answer your question, and I think the team has done a pretty good job navigating this early portion of the schedule. And there are some games I know we all wish we could have back. Um, the last 5 minutes of a couple games is the difference between us, kind of being, having 10 wins right now. But throughout the last week, I mean, they've gone 3-1 in their last 4. And obviously, they shouldn't have lost the game that they did lose. But like the guys have been saying, it seems like they're in every game. with mixed results in closing the game out. But when we have the continuity issues that we've had with guys in and out of the lineup, some of that late game execution can suffer. But as we get guys back and guys stay healthy and we get some continuity, then I think we'll start to see some more wins like the one we got on last Tuesday against the Celtics, against teams we're supposedly not supposed to beat.
I think we're just seeing like a new level of buy-in from the Hawks players that we really haven't seen before in the Trae Young era. We're seeing all these single-digit wins from this team, and it's just so interesting to see how well they're playing on defense and how they're managing to like figure out games, how they're like more or less problem solving the ways into like trying to figure out these tough defenses with teams like the Trailblazers, where even if they have like 27 turnovers, they're still managing to like manage to compete and still get themselves back into the game despite all the struggles they have. Like, yeah, the process is rough, but the fact that they're still able to still compete at such a high level is just such an encouraging sign, despite like the lack of continuity you said, Leon. One stat that I want to bring up is the clutch rating that the team has had. So the clutch rating for the team is they have a plus 13.4 net rating. They're a top 10 team in the clutch right now. And if you compare it to the past 2 years, I mean, the last 2 years for the Hawks, it's a significant improvement. In last season, they were a bottom five, like worst team in the clutch. And in 2022, 2023, they were the second worst team in the clutch. So it's a incredible difference to see what has happened. And they have managed to just scrape out these games where they have become like rock fights by just playing hard, being competitive on defense, figuring out how to just scrape by just get either fouls or just get tough buckets at the end. I think it's such a big sign. And like you said, Leon, again, like they're gonna be able to beat teams that they aren't supposed to beat because they're playing so well in the clutch and stuff. One player that I do want to I'm not help, but talk about in terms of being able to like help in the clutch has been Dyson Daniels. Like you mentioned, Chris, Dyson has been a really important player so far. He has been breaking all kinds of records. He was the highest scoring player for the Celtics upset. Other records like he has broken is he's the second player in NBA history to have 6+ steals in 4 straight games. He's the first player since Michael Jordan to have 15 points and 5 steals in 4 straight games.
Wait,
Like
since who?
Michael Jordan.
Who? His
Michael
Ernest?
Jordan.
That dude doesn't even exist, bro. That guy's a myth.
Like I cannot tell you how incredible Dyson Daniels has been on defense. And I know people are gonna like critique his offense, but the fact that he's being this aggressive on offense with how many players were injured during this time for the Hawks, like this is such a big sign for this team, and it's gonna like carry over as the season progresses. What do you think about Dyson and Chris, since you were the first person to mention him?
I think a lot about Dyson. Every day when I wake up. No, I'm just kidding. He's been a great player for this team. I mean, they've been looking for that point of attack defender for so long, and then to get him and it all to like manifest how you kind of envision it has really been sweet as a fan. It's been rooting for this for a long time, but it's honestly great to see for a young guy. Like he's 21 years old. He's finally getting this opportunity, and he's just absolutely demolishing the models in terms of defensive playmaking. Like we haven't seen a guard do this in 40 years or 34 years. We're talking since prime MJ, like 1990, bro. He still had a little hair, You know what I'm saying? So Dyson has really, really changed how this team's defended. I mean, they were getting shot clock violations when they were fully healthy. Those first 2 games, you were seeing them really give people trouble to find their shots, and that's what you were looking for when you bring Dyson in, right? He's helping everybody play better. And to your point about the clutch rating, right now you have a guy that's helping you get stops at the end of games. So instead of just scoring and hoping the other team misses, you can actually get some stops or force them to take tough shots. So now at the end of games, you're in there, right? And he gets rebounds, he gets steals, he ends possessions himself. This is a guy that's just really been transformative for the Hawks defense, and it's a pillar type player that you can start to scheme things around and target players that can fit into the scheme around Dyson defensively. And then offensively, do what he did against the Celtics was just crazy. 28 points, man. This guy was walking down the best perimeter defenders in the league. The floater was on, right? He took the game winner with no care. Like, he's spinning off guys. Like, this dude was killing it, man. And I can't wait to see what's to come from this. Say again, he's 21 years old. And he's doing things we haven't seen from a defensive playmaker in 30 years. So this is fun.
What do you think, Marco?
Like to bring back a segment called Dyson Glaze. We tried to retire it, but I fear you cannot retire greatness.
No, you can keep it going.
Yeah, the Dyson Glaze is something that will stay around for as long as Dyson is on this team. I recently made a post about Dyson's splits numbers coming up. You know, he went from 5 points from last season, 5.8 points last season to 14.9. We already knew what we were getting from his defense from Dyson. Steals has also jumped, by the way. Last year, 1.4 steals. This year, he averages 3.4 steals. Also leads the league in deflections and steals. But and his block rate is also went up 0.4 blocks last year. This year we are averaging 1.1 block. Had 4 blocks last night against the Kings as well.
Game-winning block, by the way, too.
Game-winning block. Game-winning block on top of that. So, you know, the Dyson Glaze is very strong. But coming
4 blocks is crazy. Sorry. 4 blocks is crazy.
He just like he got tired. He got bored of steals. Like, you know what? Start blocking. So I'm with it. But like I said, we already knew we were getting with his defense coming in. He was already a top point of attack defender. He's already a top matchup difficulty, yada yada yada, the whole green mile. So the question of Dyson, how would Dyson be effective coming in on offense? He shows it. I've been saying it that Dyson provides needed rim pressure that we clearly lacked last season because we are one of the lowest teams on free throw shooting last year. I couldn't tell you the number off the top of my head right now, but we are getting to the line a lot this year, and Dyson has contributed into that because that floater is automatic. Looking like Prime Trey with that Prime Trey floater we knew back in 21 is looking just like that. Left-handed layups, everything. You know, I can keep the glaze going all episode, but you know, I'm gonna wipe it off right now. So we're gonna pass it to my boy Leon.
Yeah, Dyson's been a revelation for this team, I think. Setting the tone defensively and continuing to gain some confidence on offense. Because as Chris said, doing what he did against Boston, I think you've seen a different level of aggression, especially when he's getting downhill. Since that game, I think kind of gave him a lot of confidence in his offensive game. And hey man, he's starting to shoot the ball a little bit better, which is big. And we're getting guys back, so he's gonna help those guys who are coming back into the lineup, defensively, of course. And just I can't say enough about the leaps he's made offensively because that's what's gonna continue to make him playable. Because we know the defense is borderline elite.
Now,
elite.
Sorry, hold on, my bad. Sorry, I we're gonna wipe the glaze off.
Elite.
I feel like we need to spray it back on. So let's get the glaze going a little bit more, man. y'all ever wonder what Dyson just does after the games? You know, he might go do a money spread. You know, might go talk to some girls, anything like that. Y'all never knew.
Oh my.
Y'all never knew what Dyson just does after the game. Actually, on a serious note, we have to change that nickname. I'm sorry, the Great Barrier Thief does not sit. It's too long to say.
It's a good
Nah,
name.
it's cool.
It's a good
It's a cool nickname. It's like a good official one. He gotta have some other ones though. You know what I'm saying?
Dice
But, like,
Spice.
No.
Starting the Dice Spice
Oh,
campaign.
boy.
Shout out to Noor. I'm shouting the Dice Spice campaign right
No.
now.
But
They want to see
honestly,
your
it is
ideas.
wild that he got a nickname before Jalen Johnson, right? It's crazy.
Jabron James. That's what Jalen's name is.
Well,
Jabron
that's
James.
I don't know.
nasty.
People acting like what Jalen doing is normal.
It's not. No, yeah,
No.
very not normal.
It's not. We could talk about Jalen this whole episode
Speaking
too.
of
'cause,
Jalen,
I do.
He also balled out in that Celtics game real
Yep.
quick. He was 8 for 16
Don't tell
from the
me.
field, 2 for 4 from the field, or 2 from 3. He had 12 rebounds, 10 assists, and 18 points, like a triple double against Boston at
Yep.
Boston in the NBA Cup to win our first game
15.
without Trey. Like that is
15.
nails, bro. He went crazy.
Before we talk about that Celtics game, I do have one quick question to ask y'all. If we are a top 6 seed by the end of the year, do you think Dyson Daniels could win Defensive Player of the Year?
Yes.
If we were top, here's
Okay.
my reasoning for why, because they
Like-
hate Trey Young so much, right? And their entire reason for why the Hawks have been bad is because it's impossible to build a good defense around Trey Young. So what do you do to invalidate a good season from Trey and the Hawks? You give the credit to Dyson Daniels by giving him Defensive Player of the Year. Not that Dyson has not earned it, right? But it's not a guard award, right? If a guard's getting it, there's narratives involved. So
Yeah,
that's my
fair.
thing. Like I feel like they're gonna like, oh, Dyson saved the Hawks defense. He's the only player in the NBA you could have a defense around Trey Young with. Then fuck him. I don't care. I love Dyson. It's probably true. So whatever. We got him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're currently, like Ant said, we're currently 22nd in defense. Like I said, if we can get into that top 20, just get into that top 20, we cooking. We got the shooters back, Bogey and Dre last night. Made just enough threes to win that game. You know, Dre hit some big shots in that game. Some shots that like just the other wings just aren't gonna hit right now.
Which is facts. With the with Bogey, not Bogey, with Dre and Veet coming back, I feel like the defense will rise because you got to think about it. We're 20. You said 22nd overall, right?
22nd overall
22nd right now.
We're 22nd overall without 2 of your main wings.
Yeah, 14 in the last 2 weeks.
Without Veet and Dre.
And it's not even just the main wings too. It's just like the depth in general. Like people have been
exactly
overplayed.
Even Bogey can contribute to that because Bogey was pretty high in tip passes last year as well.
Yeah, and steals.
Bogey was like top 10 in steals, wasn't he?
Last year.
Trey and Bogey were top 10 in steals last year.
And that was without Dyson holding the ball up, right? Having a guy that just makes people pick the ball up. There are possessions now where like the initiator is saying like, no, y'all got it. Like someone else bring it up the floor and you initiate it, right? Which that's a dub, right? There are many dubs throughout possessions, right?
Okay.
As a defender, like there you have to win certain parts of a play to win the entire play. If you get beat initially, you're done. So you got to do your work early. Dyson is taking guys out of the play early, and that makes he just makes everyone else's job so much easier.
Facts. Having Dyson on his team is like having ice cream with cake. You know, Trey's your ice cream.
Carvel cakes, baby.
Trey is your cake. So now you pair him with some ice cream, and now it's a top duo.
Yo.
We won AO episode. I'll let that one slide. But and you said you wanted to transition into Jalen, did you not?
Yeah, or the Celtics game. I mean, we'll talk about both because I think the Celtics game was probably easily the best game for the Hawks this season.
And you didn't even watch it.
First off, I had to
live.
Okay. It's weird because the Hawks right now have won 2 games so far without me watching it live. And I'm just thinking to myself, and I know for a fact I'm not going to be able to watch
these big games out.
Yeah. I really hope this is not a trend. Like, if it's a trend, I'm gonna be mad.
Or you might have to start the game like a quarter late, and you got to be behind
Nah,
everybody or something.
if it's like if I miss another game and they win, I may just have to just stop watching games.
Man.
Like,
But yeah, that was honestly game of the year for Hawks fans. I don't know that there's gonna be a game this season that's as big as that, and then to win it like at the end the way they did, like on Onyeka tip in, bro, that shit was just massive. Sorry,
and
Josh. Yeah, that was crazy.
we were slandering Onyeka last week. By the
Mhm.
way, like we were
Well, Marco
slandering him
was.
for that block. You know,
Brother, I was slapping him this episode.
like
He got blocked by a guard though, man. That's fair.
He did. You're right, but I mean,
Brother,
that tip was like
he's
huge.
still not safe from me. I don't want to hear this. -14. Onyeka was so bad against the Kings that he could not box out Trey Lyles. Do not get me started on him.
Listen,
He actually only had one rebound, I think, against the Kings.
Listen,
he was -14.
No,
He had the low. I think he had the highest.
But he had a rebound against the Celtics, and that won the game.
yeah, that won us the game. But we're talking about the Celtics game right now. He if we win the NBA Cup, it's gonna be because of him.
Yeah,
that one rebound, that one
Trey
tip
Lyles
in.
had 10 boards. Onyeka had 2. Anyways,
that was was that a back-to-back? That was the first half of the
The Celtics game was not on a back-to-back.
That's about the Kings.
It wasn't. Yeah,
the Kings was
back-to-back.
The Kings was. You talking about the game we just won?
Yeah.
Yes, that was the second half of the back-to-back with the Portland
Trailblazers. Slander my boy. I'm tired, bro.
We're giving him back-to-back tags now? Okay. But Celtics
23 game back-to-back tags, crazy.
Celtics game. Hey man. You know, that was a nice dub.
He's a young vet.
Nice dub. Yeah, nice dub. You know, it was a nice team win. Jalen did his thing. And I'm gonna talk more about Jalen in that game because we're kind of behind. And there's only so much I can say about the Celtics game at this point. But Jalen himself, teams are taking him serious now. I don't know if y'all noticed, but Jalen has been getting doubled a lot lately. That also could have just been the Blazers also are on crack and decided whoever is their top players is blitz them because they were doing a lot of that. But Jalen has been very good. He's been getting 18 plus easily these last 8 games because I looked at it earlier because I was in the debate. But he's been getting 18 plus very easily these last 8 games. And he's that little shred of hesitation he used to have in the first 3 games where people were ready to write him off is gone. He's driving to the hole. He's looking to actually attack now. Like when he leads the break and he knows he can beat the person up the floor, he's taking that every time now. Now he would be like, yeah, I'm gonna just pass it off. But I think he understands that he is the second option now, and he is him.
Yeah, he's way more sure of himself, I feel. Like when he
or threes.
Yeah, like having a plan when he's driving to the lane, like instead of, you know, it seems like he's dictating more with the ball in his hands instead of reacting to what the defense has been giving him. And it's cool because he's been really good just taking what the defense gives him, but now it's time to just take from the defense. So he's been doing more of that, you know, doing his borrow, you know, just kind of eating up space because he's that good of an athlete. But yeah, it's gonna keep getting better with him. It's just gonna keep getting better. You gotta stay healthy though.
Yeah, Jalen's only 22, so there's so much more to come from him. Right now, he's sitting at 19, 9.9 rebounds and 5.4 assists. If you want to throw that in a stat finder, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a short list of guys that come up. Last 10 games, he's over 50% from the field. He's shooting 35% from 3. He's at 29-6. This is a guy who is giving you all-star production. He's come into his role and he's really coming into his own, right? The first few games, there was definitely some indecision. And a lot of that is just new players coming together too, and him getting new reads. And it was good to see him get through that and really take off. I think the Celtics game was a great chance for him to really get on ball. Quinn's system is great. He and Trey are like top 5 in touches per game, right? You're getting your guy as many touches as possible, and he's getting as many reads as possible. So this year for Jalen is all about just expanding his game, testing the limits, and seeing how far he can push it. Thankfully, you have some depth right now that finally came back, so he can take a game off and get his legs back under him, and you can see more of that Jabron Johnson. And yeah, it's been great to see Jalen really do what I think everyone on this pod thought he could do for sure. And yeah, I think the 20-10-5 is real, and I think it sounds like those numbers sound low, but I don't think people realize like the type of players that are doing those 3 things all together. Like and because the guys that get rebounds, they don't get the assists. So just to put it simply, the passes he's thrown, like lefty lobs, like the touch passes, the feel, the skip passes, he's just a special player. And it's fun to see his confidence grow, and for him and Dyson to be out there together, and for the Hawks to have 2 guys like that back-to-back seasons who are really just evolving in front of our eyes. It's just a joy to watch.
Yeah, man. Jalen is. I was just about to ask earlier. Jalen probably, if Jalen keeps this up, I feel like he has a solid shot at All-Star.
Yeah, he absolutely should be.
Yeah,
I was trying to figure out what are the other power forwards in the East that could like threaten that, but I couldn't think
Giannis.
off the top of my head. Well,
I mean,
Giannis
honestly,
is in our principle alone.
Giannis
is a
and
forward,
Tatum are
right?
locks.
Yeah,
I mean,
Giannis and Tatum are locked.
Giannis and Tatum are locks.
Franz
I don't
is
know if
gonna be there.
Franz
So-
is
Yeah,
definitely
Franz
an
is
all-star this
probably
year.
going to be there because and then Paolo probably won't because
He's been hurt.
I mean, you got the Cavs. There's a good chance like the
Mobley.
Cavs think Mobley's gonna be there. So
I don't know
Mobley.
what Allen's doing. I haven't looked at Allen's numbers, but there's a fair chance that they get the whole like your team is a super team, so you get.
I'm feeling Darius
So
Garland.
they might have yeah.
But I mean, he's a guard, so I mean, don't matter. But
Mobley, I don't know.
yeah, I mean, Mobley's gonna be all-star.
Yeah, I'm looking at the numbers too.
Oh, well, hold on, look.
Well, apparently he's up for Depoy though, and it's
I mean, that's expected. I could see that one, but All-Star.
Are his numbers that? Let me look.
18, 9, and 2 and 4, 2.5.
It's really close to Jalen, and that's the narrative thing, right? The rating.
He's gotta get there because he's his first seed. Like,
I mean,
you know that.
Hey man, it's a long ways to the All-Star game.
No, it
That's true.
definitely is. I mean,
That's
Jalen
true.
Johnson's numbers are on the uptick, and I think he was sitting around 18. We've seen him have a few splash games. He's the type of guy that's not going to have the consistent what.
I love that uptick word.
Not that uptick.
Love that uptick word.
Well, you have seen it, right? And he's not the guy that's going to constantly try to take over games and give you the 30s that get his numbers there really quickly, but he's consistently right there, and he's going to give you enough 25s to be at that 20-point per game mark, man. I think that's going to be huge for his confidence and for the team.
That is factuals. Yeah, I mean, Paolo, Giannis, they count Tatum as a power forward.
He plays power forward for them for the most part, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So Tatum, Randall leaving helps.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Mobley.
Somebody in Philly.
Jimmy Butler, probably.
Butler's a forward, yeah. Well, they changed Jimmy's position to whatever it takes to get him in. So they'll call him a guard or a forward, depending on
for real.
How was Jimmy been this year? Has Jimmy been good?
Garbage.
He's been garbage, but I mean, you never know what could happen.
I know what's going to happen. He's doing that on purpose, bro. He's being a baby for that contract, but that's not the topic of.
Yeah, he might be trying to make him trade him. Jimmy's at 17, 5 and 5, 18 if you want to round up, but.
Barely playing.
That's not better than Jalen Johnson.
That's true.
And it's not like they finna be no top 5 seed or top 4.
I mean, Jalen's numbers are clear and away better than Jimmy.
Now Tyler Hero is having an All-Star season.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, we're not talking.
Here's the thing: the Hawks are ahead of the Heat, so you do get that bump if you're looking at that. The teams ahead of the Hawks are the Knicks, Magic, Celtics, Cavs. Magic, we went over the forwards. I don't know that the Knicks have a forward that's competing with Jalen for.
They count. I think
Cat.
Josh
Cat.
Hart plays.
This
He
cat,
plays center though.
No.
Josh Hart's not
he's a
gonna be.
big.
Yeah,
Cat
yeah.
would be a big, right? Or
No,
center.
Josh Hart plays power forward for them, so that's not happening.
Yeah, Josh Hart's not competing with Jalen. So I mean, you could say he's probably top 4 forwards in the East. Giannis is going to make it regardless of record, even though
They might count
And
Giannis.
he's
lot of
having a
trade
great
stories
season
record.
too.
Yeah.
Just
This is
saying.
the season that Trey and Jalen both need to make it.
That would be huge.
Yeah.
Honestly, I know they probably want to put Dyson in. The way they were talking about Derek White last year, bro, like Dyson should be getting some nods for All-Star.
I
At
don't
least
think-
the statistics nerds should be talking about it because he's a top 10 defender by EPM. Or
Derek White is in MVP talks right now too. Which is
I don't
crazy.
think they're gonna
They
put
love defensive
Dyson
impact.
because his offense numbers aren't great. That's why.
Yeah, they're not
So-
I'm about to
if he
say
was
if-
shooting league average from 3, they would.
He if he was shooting league average from 3, like we would be
freaking out.
yeah, like
They can't handle a defender that can hit like 35% of his threes.
like we would literally we literally would have Derek White, a taller Derek
Oh my
White,
God,
like that would be crazy.
Derek White with actual fade. This shit is crazy.
Derek White.
Australia Derek White.
Man, look, Dyson. If Rising Stars went out to year 3, Dyson would definitely be in there.
For sure.
No, but
Mhm.
Dyson is working on an MIP
Right.
bid.
Yep.
If nothing else, I think his scoring puts him in the category in like the conversation. But then if you look at what he's doing steals wise, he has to be blowing everybody else out. And with blocks, like the average of block a game for a guard is crazy enough. So yeah, he's taking Jalen's MIP because I think Jalen would have a shot at it if he made All-Star and then was doing the 2010 and 5 thing. But Dyson's going crazy. So
Yeah.
hey, but the Hawks might have some guys in legitimate talks for awards this year. And hey, they are the 5.
Hey, Risa is a rookie of
The
the year.
Eastern standards or the standings are like that's nasty work right
Yeah,
now.
like-
I'm looking at this.
It's so weird because like if the Hawks just go like 2-1 their next few games, there's a good chance they could easily just solidify themselves
Top 4.
as just being a top 4 or just top 6 in general. Because like no one else below them is above 500 right now. Like that's just how bad it is. Yeah.
We're not either, but you know.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
we are
true.
one away.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, so many of the teams have 6 wins and 7 wins, like, but they're all teeter-tottering, and at some point, I mean, they're all going to start playing each other, right? So if the
Yeah.
Hawks can start to distance themselves early, like, they can really put themselves in a solid position. And thankfully, they weathered the storm, right? And
Yeah.
the injuries are, for now, behind them. I know we had to knock on wood last time. I'll do it again. But if they can get healthy and go win like 3 games next week, or you know what I'm saying, that's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
I mean, listen,
what?
there are 6 games left in November. If the Hawks go 5-1 in those games, they will have won 10 games in the month of November.
And they'll be 12-9.
Mm-hmm.
And
Now
that
they
could have
probably
you as
aren't
the
going
third
to do that. That'll. I mean, hey, they beat the Cavs twice, and the Warriors, and the Bulls.
The thing
And
about the
then
NBA is that it's all about matchups, right? So
Yeah.
you might see a team as like better than you, but then you roll in and like your small forward just murders theirs because their guy is 6'4", and you get out of there with the dub like we did the Knicks. I don't know that really applies to the Cavs per se, but the Warriors, they're small, bro. I think we should match up with them, especially if we're healthy. It's funny how much I have to talk about Dre Hunter this season because of how much I've talked about him in the past in a negative way. But he's such a big player for this team, and him coming off the bench behind the starting lineup that really works now, at least defensively. And you're talking about a team that's going to be hard to beat.
Damn, it won't focus. Anyways, largest points per game increases last season to this season. Dyson Daniels is plus 9.5. Sorry to interrupt.
You're good.
No, yeah, that's a crazy number
Yeah.
too. And Jalen was like that last year, and that's like literally historically good. By the way, if he keeps that up for the season, that's one of the biggest jumps ever.
Yeah.
That does not happen often.
Dyson just needed opportunity.
Thank you,
Oh,
Pelicans.
yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Pelly Pels.
Fleece, bro.
We
My
got
man
that
rolled
big.
in there like the Joker. They said, "You know who you're stealing from?" It's like, I don't care.
Don't care.
Taking this bag, baby. 2
Yeah, this is
first-round
great.
picks and a depoy. Dog. David Griffin's getting fired. Their GM is getting fired.
Yeah, there's
What
no
is
way
their
you let a
record?
young defensive star walk away like that. But hey,
In today's NBA, and they're 4-11. Guys, he's gonna be updating his resume soon. Like, that's not good.
I mean,
Get ready to learn Indeed.
Buddy.
I mean, who's the
Open up a
Pelicans
basketball
coach? I
clinic
forgot
in
his name.
Senegal.
I mean, I know he's gonna
Willie
get fired.
Green.
Yeah, he's gone. Out
But
of the- like,
they're probably not going to fire Willie Green yet. They have an excuse. They always have an excuse because their guys are always hurt.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah. They can blame. Well, it depends. The new GM will decide if Willie keeps his job. Probably. They're not giving Willie the job. Willie couldn't figure out how to use Dyson Daniels. What happens when you like trade a player like that and then they like blow up is that everybody in the organization looks so stupid that like everybody. The owner
Yeah.
gets
entire
pissed. And he's
organization
like,
looks
"You're
crazy.
done. Like, get out of here." So we'll see what happens with the Pelicans. And then they're losing. It's the injuries, right? You trade for DJ and he's not even there. So you gave up like 2 of your better defenders and 2 first-round picks for a guy who's not available, bro. That is
Rough,
you got to
yeah.
look your owner in the eye every day. Like that's an
Mhm.
awkward day at work.
very much.
You know.
But
Oh yeah, go
it's
ahead.
been nice to have Mr. Daniels on my team. I gotta say.
Blessing, a
I
blessing.
do love
Blessing.
Mr. Daniels. That I guess I will get his city jersey because why not? You get the
Let's
special.
do a little Ricochet update.
Yeah, well,
Zachary,
he hasn't been shooting the ball well until this Kings game recently. Like before, he went 1 of 19, but this Kings game, like he was great. He went. Let me check again
He
because
went 3 for 5 from the 3.
3 of 5 from 3. This was probably one of his best games this season.
Probably.
The second, yeah,
second.
Marco. Yeah, I think this is actually his second highest scoring game this season.
Third, I think.
Yeah, third. Or is it third? I thought this was his second.
Pretty sure it's third. He had 17 before.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
scored.
Yeah,
He scored
33,
18.
yes, 33, 17, yeah.
Yeah, this is second. Yeah, like his defense against the Kings was like really good during the Kings game, especially against I forgot who was he defending. Dang,
Keegan Murray.
Keegan Murray. Yeah, Keegan Murray.
Yeah.
And-
I mean, he started at power forward. He started at power forward for
Yeah, he did, and he actually was.
19.
He looked pretty good doing that, but they
Yep.
get like the Kings were playing
Got
like
another
small
block.
though, so
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
man. Like 12 blocks through 15 games at his age is
crazy.
Yeah.
And you can
That's
really
crazy.
see the vision when you see him defensively, right? Like
Yeah.
the size mismatch for in our favor is like there consistently. And I don't know why he seems like he's so much taller than Dre, but doesn't he feel like he's
Because
taller
he's
than
so
Dre?
skinny.
yeah,
He is
skinny.
taller than Dre.
He is.
Yeah, but he feels like a lot taller than like
It's because
it's
he's
only
so
an
skinny.
inch or two, but
It's
yeah,
because he's
I
so
mean,
skinny. Yeah. And
According to Vegas, Zachary Arishache is second in Rookie of the Year odds behind Jared McCain.
Jared McCain. Yeah, Jared McCain strung together some really good games.
Yeah.
yeah, whoever has the best like week goes to the top. But
Mhm.
I think
Zach needs to string together some good games, and
yeah, they got him back. They got him actually down to 26 minutes in this game. We've seen his minutes start to come down for good reasons, not like bad reasons. Like we're finally getting guys back. If you look at the minute distribution in his last game, they got Garrison Matthews. Oh, well, Garrison had to start because of Jalen. Bogey played 18. Dre was at 24. David Roddy had to get 7 because Jalen was out. But Zach only at 26, man. He's been playing a lot of minutes. Like he and Dyson have been like pretty much the defensive like core of everything they've been doing for the last 15 games. So for him to finally get a break is hopefully his three comes back because of it, right? He might have his legs back under him, and we saw it pay dividends in this game against the Kings. So
yeah, and honestly, like what you said about like him and Dyson being like the defensive core, I think he's done like a pretty good job being that. Like even as a rookie, like his length and how physical he's been trying to play as like there have been games like in the Portland Trailblazers where Quinn basically had to like bench him because like he could take on players like Jeremy Grant. But I think for the most part, he's been fine for a rookie for what he's been asked to do for the most part.
yeah, Jeremy Grant did big bro Zach
Yeah.
times in that game. He's just stronger. But overall, like he's really good at extending advantages. One thing like Leon pointed out like a long time ago that I just like can't forget with that because he's the way he moves around the floor, like he sees them. He's one of the guys that actually flashes when a double team's coming and stuff. So there's been a lot of little things with Zach's game that don't always show up in the box score night to night that have been really, really promising. And the defense is tangible. His ability to defend without fouling a lot has been huge. Like we've seen guys that have been with this team for 5 years still struggle with fouls, right? But
yeah,
you see Zach body dudes up and get vertical and get blocks and do a lot of things that we haven't had. So him and Dyson, yeah, flying around has been huge, and we definitely go like 2 and 13 if we don't have those two on this team. Like Landry saved the start of the season by bringing them in.
Agreed.
Yeah, the wing / forward group looks really good right now. If you talk about Dyson, Zach, Dre, and Jalen like that, that's a good starting point. We need one more at least for sure to really round it out. But that's a really good point for us to be at right now. And another thing, and I mentioned this during the game last night, is you can really run very real 2-man game with Trey and Dyson, where they would clear the side out for them and they would just run pick and roll, and he would, Dyson would short roll to the middle or roll all the way to the rim. And when you can do that, right, it opens up the floor for the rest of those guys, and it's just another way to get Dyson involved. And I was talking about like how big that was going to be him as a screener. He's such a solid screener for a guard. He's such a solid screener for a guard.
And willing.
Yeah, and
forces switches. He gets in the short roll. Yeah, he's been huge in that.
Yeah, so that's just another thing to bridge that lack of self creation gap. That we have, like lack of self creation that we have from guys. You want to talk about Kobe real fast?
Yeah, go ahead.
In his season debut.
We can talk about Kobe and Bogey because everyone's
let's talk
basically
about
healthy. Well, not everyone.
Let's go ahead. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about Bogey then. Then we'll do about Kobe. I mean, Bogey did Bogey stuff. Did he hit 2 threes or was it just one? 1 or 3?
I think it was.
He only shot twice, but he hit one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he hit one.
Oh no, he did take more off. No, he hit 2.
Yeah, 2.
He
shot 6 threes,
and then he had that pull up in transition.
Yeah.
Everybody's mad, but it's like Bogey's gonna take those, and he's gonna make so many.
He had 3 assists, 3 rebounds.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Somebody who can play make a little bit, run a little bit of offense, and that was good. That was good to have him out there, and it'll be good to have him out there going forward for the offense. That wasn't super amazing against the Kings, but was good enough to win, right? And that, in a game where Trey's going to go 1 for 7, to win in general, to be good enough on offense to win is good enough for me. So that was good. But what do you guys think about Bogey's return to action?
I mean,
okay, go ahead.
He looked a little out of shape, honestly. Just like the legs weren't under him, so obviously you think they'll be there moving forward. He'll keep running and get there. So yeah, I mean, I think he made good decisions, which is what I really cared about. Right, the 3 was there, he took it. Otherwise, he was driving and moving the ball around, so that was good to see. But yeah, it was good to see him back out on the floor. and hopefully they can ease it back in. It's hard coming off a hamstring, bro. You can't run, you can't do anything. So, yeah, it was just good to see Bogey healthy, and yeah, the 2 threes was a good sign.
Yeah, I'm just happy to see we got like another guy. We got our best shooter back, another guy that can make plays, just especially during this time where everyone was just not really healthy. Like we needed Bogey back to get this team to its full potential, especially before we get to this really hard stretch of the season. Hopefully, like Bogey can like get back into shape soon and we can like really start getting the Hawks to get going eventually. What do you think, Marco? And then we're gonna move on to Kobe.
Bogey was being Bogey. You know, you got to let him get into that groove because he has not played since October. October? I don't know. He hasn't played for a minute, so let him get back in that groove and he'll start hitting them. Like I just said, Bogey's gonna shoot those transition threes. That's him. It literally can be him versus 5. He's going to shoot it. He does not care. He actually has a higher percentage on contested threes than wide open threes. So Bogey will be Bogey. And I guess I'll go ahead and transition it into Kobe. Kobe was Kobe. Kobe played. He put the ball on the floor. That's all I can say.
I thought Kobe played well. I thought he was aggressive. I thought that he did a pretty decent job taking care of the ball. He did look like he was a little nervous on the floor. Everybody else is kind of in the swing of things, and he's basically a rookie. But he made some good plays defensively. Always gonna be in the right spot. Got taken to the rim a couple times by De'Aaron Fox. That's an all-star point guard who is a grown-up and is a bucket, as we know. So, I'm not gonna say he's terrible just because of that play, but he looked pretty good outside of that. Got to finish around the rim, hit his free throws, hit a 3, which is promising. So just gotta get more experience on the court, and I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, the process was fine with Kobe. He did what you want him to do, right? He protected the ball with his handle, which is what we really need when Trey's off the floor, someone that can really handle ball pressure, like themselves without having to get an outlet. The threes, he got 5 threes. He did hit one, with the catch and shoot, which is a good sign. Like we really need him and Bogey to bring some outside shooting and playmaking to the team. So it was good to see both of them hit threes. And I mean, it's their first action of the season, so they're playing against a team that like is been playing pretty well, and some guys that and De'Aaron Fox, who maybe had been as hot as anybody in NBA history, coming off like 109 points in 2 games. And then Keon Ellis, who went Super Saiyan against us and was like not missing at all. So
That was absolutely ridiculous, by the
they
way.
caught
Like,
they caught a crazy barrage. Like he had like 6 threes, I think, in that first half, right? And
yeah,
I think 5 of them came within like a span of like 4 minutes.
And by the way, he only scored 32 total points before he played against us, and then he scored 33 points in our game. Like,
I guess he was due, right?
Yeah.
So,
like,
but yeah, no, I mean, Kobe is a really vital piece for this, right? If he can really get going, you have a guy that can keep Dyson fresh, he can keep Trey fresh, he can give Bogey nights off. And if you have Dyson and Kobe going for 48 minutes plus, that's 48 minutes of somebody at the point of attack, really harassing ball handlers. So it was just good to see Kobe back on the floor. Hopefully he and Bogey can both get up to speed and really start contributing, because this team is like really poised to solidify a spot in the standings if they can just be the first one to get healthy and start winning some games and kind of establish their style, and really just get some consistency. That's all they need, man. It's like Leon said earlier, it's so hard when you have guys coming in and out of the lineup. Bogey and Kobe haven't played with these guys all year, right? So they're trying to figure out the rotations. But yeah, if we can have our guys have like a week of practice where they're all doing the same thing for a week, maybe we can see that pay off soon.
Yeah, I basically agree with everyone here. Like Kobe hasn't really had much time to practice because he's been recovering because of his shoulder injury. He hasn't had much reps with any of the guys. So I think it's not really fair to be like super hard on him at all. It's good that he did turn over the ball, which is needed because, as we're going to discuss a little later, this team does have a bit of a turnover issue right now that's causing them to lose some games. But I thought he was fine for the most part. He was competitive. He took shots that we needed to take. I liked the fact that he was aggressive, and for the most part, I think he's gonna get better as the season moves on. But I do want to talk about this turnover issue because it has become like a big thing about like fans that talk about like the turnovers during the past few games. So we are averaging 16.3 turnovers per game. That's like a top 5 team in terms of turnovers. Trey is averaging 4.8 turnovers, which matches his career high set in his second year in the league. Jalen's averaging a career high in turnovers. Dyson Daniels averaging a career high in turnovers. To give some context, pace has been higher for this team. We are playing the second highest pace in the entire league. Last year we had the sixth highest pace. Jalen's passing the ball more because he's averaging 5.4 assists. Dyson's averaging more assists as well. And you saw players like Trey, like they're averaging more assists as well. Like Trey's averaging 11.6 assists. So I want your guys' thoughts on this turnover issue. Do you think is it a big issue, or do you think it's just nothing to really worry about generally?
Um, so the turnover thing for this team, you gotta look at like the types of turnovers it is. Like it's not so much that they're getting ripped on ball. Though there's been like more on ball steals from Trey lately because of his Achilles, right? He just clearly hasn't had like his normal agility and whatnot. But like a lot of it is passing, and they're being super aggressive, like trying full court passes and people throwing lobs. And some of that is like testing your limits, like we talked about, right? Figuring out like what they can and can't do together. And when you have so many new players coming in and playing the minutes they've been playing, right? You've seen like passes that are the people are trying to kick it out to a teammate and the guys in the corner when they thought they were at the elbow, or then the elbow and they thought they were at the corner. So it's like a lot of stuff where they're being uh, unselfish, which is a good thing, right? And they're trying to move the ball, which is a good thing. And as a coach, when guys are being aggressive, that's a good thing because you can always dial that back, right? It's a lot harder to go the other way and tell them to be more aggressive. So you can tell them to calm down some of the passes that are going too far. And then the miscommunication passes, I think those will tick down to right when they know where they all need to be for each other and win, and they're on time, right? So you just want to see it go down over the course of the season as they get more used to each other. So when you're playing fast, it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think it's partially the playing fast stuff and the lack of continuity. Again, guys in and out of the lineup, guys learning to play with each other. It's gonna be up and down right now. Because you're installing a new defense. You got just getting guys back. So for the next couple weeks, if everybody can stay semi healthy, then you'll start to see some of that consistency. You'll see that continuity lead to some consistency. When Kobe starts hitting shots, Shea starts to become more consistent. Then you know we can really start stringing some wins together. Really gonna start stringing some wins together. So I think the turnovers are an issue, but I don't think it's a process problem. I think it's simply you're a high paced team um, that employs a ball movement offense, and you're lacking in continuity at the moment. So I don't expect it to be a problem, a huge problem all year. They've had some high turnover games and they've had some okay turnover games. What they really haven't had is those games where they just don't turn the ball over. Um, but I don't think it's a huge problem. What you think, Marco?
Right now, it's not really a concern, in my opinion, because they're adjusting to a new play style. They're adjusting to playing faster. They're adjusting to a lot of other things, new people, etc., etc. Jalen coming into his role and always trying to make the right decision. You learn through mistakes, and if you don't learn through your mistakes, you won't ever see what you're doing wrong. So for right now, I don't feel like that'll be consistent throughout the rest of the season. I do feel like it'll clean up going through the season because everybody kind of figures out where you need to be, where I need to be. Do I need to force this pass? Can I do this pass, etc., etc.? I'm not too concerned about it. You got to remember, you have a pass first point guard. Turnovers are going to happen. Jokic has just as many turnovers as Trey Young right now. So if you get high assists, you're going to get high turnovers. That's how I can simply put that. So I'm not too worried about it as of right now.
Yeah, I think I agree for the most part. Like, I'm not super worried about the turnovers. They are like Jalen is adapting to his role as this second option. Dyson's adapting as well, especially since everyone was injured and he has to take more of the offensive load now. Like, it's just for me, it's just weird turnovers that the team has committed. It's stuff like Jalen traveling more, which is I for some reason, which sometimes like the rest, like it's not really a travel, but then they call it anyway. It's just stuff like that I just don't get. But I eventually I do think the team will get better at this as the team as the season goes on. I mean, with Trey, like you said, Chris, the Achilles issue with Trey is interesting to watch. Um, he hasn't looked the best during these past few games, especially during this Kings game where he was really passive, and that does make me concerned about him because I'm wondering if they just should have just let him rest for like a week. But then again, we know that Trey's the type of guy that if he can walk and can like move his arms, he's gonna play no matter what. So like I'm just gonna be interested to see how they manage his injury going forward because obviously like an Achilles tear for a player like him and you know how he relies on his speed and stuff like that could be career altering. So I'm just gonna be interested to see how this team handles its systems like going forward throughout the season. But we are gonna continue on and just talk about how we think these next two games are gonna be. So we got Golden State on the road and the Chicago Bulls on the road for our NBA Cup game. Our predictions were all right. I forgot to write the predictions last time. I think everyone here said 2-1. So for the games that we were talking about last time, I'm not going to include the Kings game because that we were supposed to record on Sunday, like I said earlier. So we were all basically right. So we got two games: Golden State, Chicago. What are y'all predictions? So I'll start with Chris. Go ahead.
So I do think we have good matchups with the Warriors. Obviously they have a guy who can just absolutely take over a game and put everybody to bed, as he likes to do in the court with his night celebration and Steph Curry. But I do think the Hawks are bigger than the Warriors, and we match up. And if Jalen is healthy and he's out there, we have a solid chance to win. So I'll say 2-0 because we're finally healthy, and I'm gonna pick the Hawks to take both games.
I too am going to take the Hawks going 2-0. I think mainly it's just being healthy, and I think we have a unique mismatch kind of against the Warriors where I think our size could really eat against them. And I think in this game will have enough shooting to, not get, just kind of demolished at the 3-point line with Bogey and Dre back. So it'll be fun to have the young guys chasing Steph around. They need it. Hopefully Zach can have a good game too, but I think we should go 2-0 in these two. Get above 500 for the first time in a while.
I'm also going to go 2-0 because, yeah, like Chris said, we're bigger than the Warriors very much at every position. Got to hope Draymond doesn't try to hurt Jalen tomorrow. That's my biggest concern. But
after foreigners.
But yeah, we're definitely bigger than them. Every game we played with Golden State so far that I can remember off the top of my head recently, it has always been close. It usually comes down to that last minute of play is when it kind of gets out of hand for us. But
you
I'm not
remember that John Collins Warriors game?
Yeah.
Didn't he have like 38?
You don't expect John Collins.
Yeah.
Exactly. He said when a guy just kind of goes off that you don't expect.
Yeah.
Remember Steph saying that?
I wonder who's that guy for them now. But
we need Zachary to go off.
Yeah, it seems like a Zachary game, a game where Zachary could go off.
Yeah.
Who was it's kind of not off topic, but who are the Warriors starting 5? Does Buddy start?
They start who they feel like. They start who they feel like starting.
Who did they start?
Yeah.
I'm trying to see something. Curry, Wiggins, Kuminga, Green, and Lonnie Wall, whoever this is. Anyway, yeah, 2-0. Everybody's back. It really just depends. Injury reported out as well, and they didn't rest anybody because even though it's not a back-to-back, it's been games where Dre will play one game, we get a day of rest. Now Dre is out just to give him extra rest. But that's not happening this time. Everybody's playing, so definitely got us beating the Warriors. Chicago should have beat them the first time, but we were winded. But now that we're healthy, we're fine. So 3-0 in the NBA Cup, baby.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what they say, great minds think alike. I'm going to say 2-0 too. I think, like everyone else said, we're healthy. I think Dyson could lock up Curry. It's probably going to be his toughest challenge of the season of the toughest challenge of the season so far, just chasing Curry throughout the whole court, but I think he can handle it. The Bulls, we should have won, like you said, Marco, we should have won that first game, but we were tired. So I think it's going to be 2-0, and we're going to take a commanding 3-0 lead. So
Dyson needs to go out and show Steph Curry how old he is, bro. You let that man realize he ain't got no burst no more, boy. He 35, Steph.
I will say Curry is questionable.
Yo, that's true. Ooh, that's a big one.
They're starting Lindy Waters.
Lindy Waters, yeah, I was looking at the starting lineup last game. It was Lindy Waters the third, Steph Curry, Trace Jackson Davis, Andrew Wiggins, and Draymond Green. And I think Zachary is taller than everybody in that lineup. Let me see. Trace Jackson Davis. He's 6'9". Yeah, Zach would be the tallest man on the court.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah, it should look, but Curry, they love threes, and we are one of the worst league at guarding a 3-point line right now.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's really a 50-50 of who gets the better of that thing.
Is Buddy Hield gonna give us like 30, bro?
Hey, look at Buddy Hield's last couple games too.
He only had 8 last game, yeah.
Exactly.
That means he's due.
I mean, yeah.
See, you're gonna make me delete this part of the podcast now.
I'm still believing in the 2-0, but
we're still gonna be 2-0.
2 goes for 30, bro. We like Keon Ellis hit 9 threes yesterday,
and he only shot 3 threes.
He probably doubled his season.
I told you
in one game.
He doubled his total point total in one game.
Oh my gosh, that was crazy. He just kept letting it go. When he came out in the second half and hit his first one, I was like, hell no, this is talking about. Keep happening. What is going on?
Yeah, that shit was so fake.
But I got us at 2-0 still. And, if you want to take it a step further and we want to go to the next game after that, I have a confidence. I have a confidence.
Go ahead.
I'm going to play after that.
we got the Mavs
I
after
know who
that
they.
at
Oh.
home. I got a confident 3-0 after that. I don't know. I got two people that can. Hey, I got somebody that can stop Luka and Kyrie now.
Oh,
Dyson Daniels about to be in
Yeah.
Luka's jersey, bro.
Oh,
Dre
man.
is about to be in Luka
Probably
jersey.
full of crumbs and
Donuts. Good old
I was gonna
donuts.
say donut icing and shit.
Man, look.
Apparently
Actually,
they say
Luka is
Luka
also
is hurt.
questionable too.
Oh,
Yeah, they say
dang.
Luka's hurt. His legs are apparently they haven't healed since like last season. I don't know what's going on with the boy, but
I'm sorry to hear that.
he gonna have Dyson Daniels in his jersey for 48
game.
for 40 minutes.
No gifts.
Every
Shit,
time you
Zach
out there,
Zach
bro,
might
you
lock
better
him
not
up a
try to-
little bit too.
Oh yeah. I mean, we do have Zach on Kyrie or Kobe on Kyrie. Finally
I don't
back,
want Zach
so,
on Kyrie. If anything,
Well, we
I'm
got
putting-
Buffkin on Kyrie. I mean, he
yeah, you
locked
got
him up a
Bucket for
bit.
Kyrie.
So-
I mean, for the starting lineup, right? It's gonna be Zach. Which I
Yeah.
mean, Zach is really tall, bro. These dudes
Yeah.
aren't just trying to shoot over him. They really try to do some shit to him because they can't just get their shot off.
he's actually a decent, good
yeah.
shot blocker with his short ones. But,
He's really good at getting his hands up. Yeah,
yeah,
he's
Most contested
very
threes,
well
by the way.
coached. Like I totally get the Euro thing because they're very well coached, man. And if they have enough athleticism and skill, good.
I know.
Fundamentally sound as a teenager. That's not common.
Facts.
Not common.
But all right, y'all. Thank y'all for listening to Hard Knock Hawks, our 10th episode. Nobody thought we could make it this far,
Hey,
but we're here.
Mhm.
Let's see if we can go 10 more, 30 more, 40 more, 50 more, 100,000, 20,000, 50,000 more.
All right.
We
Well,
can get it.
We'll see y'all in the next episode. Have a good one.
Caw-caw.
doing these
Caw-caw.
trades, kids.
Caw-caw.
Oh.
Caw-caw.